everyone to the Section 12J on a very interesting qualifying company of ours, a qualifying company called Elixir. It's part of a cannabis project, and Zahira will be talking on their behalf, and Chris will be talking on how you can invest your taxes in. So everyone can join in as they please, and then we will fill them in afterwards. Please, if you've got any questions, please use the chat box, and we will follow through until the end with everyone, all the questions. So thank you. The share screen is available, so you may share your screen as much as you want, Chris, and can get going.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Tristan, for having us on the platform. We're truly appreciative of it. My name is Zahira Ismail. Good afternoon to everyone. I'm one of the founders and co-directors of Elixir Africa and Elixir Medicann. Before we start with this, I think it's imperative to give you a little bit of an outline with regards to who we are. Elixir Africa is started by 4 partners who saw a vision and opportunity within the medical cannabis sector in early 2018. By December of 2018, we had received our first license for cultivation in Lesotho. In 2019, when regulations changed around in South Africa, we saw a huge opportunity in market gap to be able to provide certified products to the market, because we often found that CBD became the go-to word, with the word being splashed across just about any product without people understanding what they were taking. And this, we knew, would end up doing far more harm to this market than it would be of any benefit. So we saw the gap in the market, and this is where Elixir Africa was born. So with Elixir Africa being born, we started providing premium grade CBD products to the South African market. All our products have unrivaled quality assurance backed by rigorous batch testing. We have COAs, which is certificates of analysis, on every single product that we have brought in, both internationally in the UK and again retested in South Africa. So you are assured of the quality of the type of CBD in our product, the absence of THC, the absence of pesticides, heavy metals, or anything that we don't need to be taking within our bodies. All our tinctures and oral sprays have NAPI codes on it, which means you are able to claim back from your medical aid, which is a huge bonus and benefit for many people, and a huge feather in the cap for Elixir Africa, because this puts us at a pharmaceutical level in terms of the quality of our products. Our products also are true zero THC free, which means that there is absolutely nothing in it that gives you any psychoactive components, nothing that gives you any addictive components, just the good health and wellness and benefit of CBD. So having said that, our main aim as Elixir Africa is to take you from seed all the way to product. And the reason we did this, and this was to ensure that everybody has access to the products. This is where Elixir Medicann was then born. This would allow us not just to place South Africa on a global market, but at an international level with international standards as well within this niche market, providing premium grade products, but not just for one particular sector, to provide it and to make it financially feasible across the board for anyone to be able to afford it. Because if we are able to control the entire chain, we're able to control and make sure that products are available at a reasonable price for everyone to be able to access it. Now you may be asking yourself, why Elixir Medicann? Or why medicinal cannabis? Let's start there. Let's start with why medicinal cannabis. If you know anything about cannabis, you know that it's been around for centuries. The health and wellness factors have been prominent for many, many years, with many backgrounds of people utilizing it, using it, and making the most of it. So that it's known in terms of what it's able to offer. Although we are not able to make any medical claims, we know that there's enough anecdotal evidence as well as enough clinical research currently being done to show the benefits of it, to show the usage of it and the many benefits of it. And we're making a very distinct difference between recreational market and medicinal use, with our focus being more on the medicinal use. And global trends are showing that this is coming as the next green gold for us. So just to give you a little bit of money perspective to see how this is of benefit. In the year 2019, online distribution of cannabidiol was valued at close to $1.3 billion US. This was published by a report in Global Market Insights, which showed that the market size is expected to surpass $89 billion in revenue by 2026. And this is driven by direct sales of products. This sets us up in this industry for rapid growth in the months and the years ahead. Furthermore, the legislation of cannabis, which we absolutely love because it needs to be legislated, it needs to be protected so that the end consumer gets good quality products and not just something that is pressed in the backyard. We want to maintain the integrity of this industry to be able to provide these good quality products to the market. So the legislation has further driven the market growth of medical cannabis, and this drive for access to good quality products has again fueled the cannabis testing market. And this has led to phenomenal market growth, with the testing market estimated to be worth $1.2 billion by 2026. We've already seen FDA-approved medication like Epidiolex that's made from cannabis products that's being used for untreatable seizures in Lennox-Gastaut syndrome, Dravet syndrome, and tuberous sclerosis. We've also seen Nabilone and Sativex that have now come out as well, also cannabis-related medical products. So we see the industry is growing from a pharmaceutical perspective as well. And this is making a huge difference to the many people who want to use it, but also want the comfort of it. So this is the time to get your foot into the door, because not only are we sitting at the forefront of it, we're also saying we're giving you an opportunity with impact investments to be able to join us on this journey, to take a calculated risk and put your investment where it makes a difference. So now, why Elixir Africa over anyone else? With our history and our experience in the industry, we have no doubt that we are optimally positioned to be able to be your choice of investment. We understand the industry sufficiently to know that we cannot do it ourselves. We've partnered with the right people, the right growers, the right cultivators to ensure that we make a success of it. And also partnering with you, the right investors, to be able to believe in us to make this a reality. You'll be able to see a video following this presentation of how far we've already come and how close we are into our first cultivation and our licensing. We're just a few months away from that, with our construction almost complete. We're looking further into extraction and research and development, which by the figures I've shown you earlier is where the stepping stones are heading towards for the future of medical cannabis. And we see a lot of untapped potential there as well. Many have said to us that we're just a little ahead of the game. South Africa is yet to catch up. And that's true. We've done a number of educational drives to teach people the difference about medical cannabis products, what the benefits of it are, what the benefits of natural health and wellness is, the benefits of having no THC in the products, understanding what you're purchasing, understanding the quality of the products that you're putting into your body, and how to make educated, informed decisions on these products. So we're already in the forefront of it. But we don't just want to be a leader in this. We want to be a game changer. And that's where we want to be. That's where we're putting ourselves in the forefront, because we're not just going to put South Africa on the map. With impact investments, we're going to be putting Africa on the international map. Our projections are that with your investments, which Chris will explain to you how it works, you are looking at close to doubling your investment based on the current conditions in this sector. And impact investments allows you or gives you the opportunity today to put your foot into this door of this global trend. So make the right choices and choose Elixir Africa, because without a doubt, this is the next green gold. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Cannabis is such an interesting suit in the new modern world in the fourth IR as well. So, but Chris will be explaining how you as a taxpayer can actually invest your taxes in such a great project. Very bizarre concept, but Chris, the floor is all yours. You can share your screen. I'll let you know when I can see it.
Can you see that?
No, we cannot, Chris.
Yeah, so we've got share screen. All right, I'm going to email you in the meantime. We're going to and then I'm going to just go on to my presentation.
Can I share the slides that you would like to? Or is this new slides, Chris?
No, I'll be okay. I'll be okay with that. It's just this movie. It's just to show the facility that we're investing in. So it's not a problem at all. So I'm going to, I've emailed that through, and I'm going to share my presentation now. So we've got a share screen. I'll click on that. I'll be with you in a sec.
Okay, I got the video, Chris.
All right, you can show the video.
Okay, we'll do. There you go, Chris.
All right. Right, thank you, Tristan. I think you've got my slides. I think it'll be better that you take my slides. I can't. I'm battling with the technology, so I'm going to.
Are we good? Can you see? Are we good?
We're good. We're good. So let's just start there. Firstly, apologies. We'll get that fixed. The presentation is how can we actually use our taxes. What Zahira presented, as you can see, is an excellent investment opportunity. This is not something that's starting from bare ground. This is an investment opportunity into an existing facility that's been made available. The return potential is actually massive, and the reason is in South Africa the industry is still in its infancy, and the margins are actually quite big. The products that are available are all imported at the moment, and this is one way where we actually try to get the value chain increased and improved. In my background, I've got a whole selection of Elixir's products that are amazing. It really is an incredible range of products already of exceptionally high quality, and that is that the investor is able to do so. But the access to this is that you've almost got the ability to invest for free, because we're going to actually convert your taxes into this investment. And I'm going to show you how with this presentation. Firstly, Impact Empowerment Ventures is a registered financial services provider and so we start off with what I call as a disclaimer, and that disclaimer really just reflects that this is an information session, not an advice session, and it's basically to actually also reflect our FSP number and that with the disclaimer. So the next slide, what I'm going to do first is to explain how we're going to use Section 12J. What is Section 12J in its first place? So just if we can go to the next slide, what happens is that an investor, you invest R1 million. It works very, very similarly to a retirement annuity, which is a deduction off your income for income tax purposes. So you earn money, you pay tax against that money that you're earning, right? And then you're also on the side contributing to a retirement annuity. At the end of the tax year, what happens, SARS has got a whole lot of tax from you if you're a PAYE taxpayer, and you submit your taxes and you say, oh, and by the way, I've also got a retirement annuity. You submit that documentation. It's a deduction of your income, which means that you've paid a little bit too much tax and you get some tax back. And it helps just to reduce the cost of that investment into the retirement annuity. And the government does that because they want you to make a provision for your old age. So Section 12J, the mechanism is exactly the same. You invest into a Section 12J venture capital company, which in this case is an Impact Empowerment Ventures. That then enables you to, with that investment, get a Section 12J share certificate, and it works exactly like the retirement annuity document. You submit that when you do your taxes, and it's a full deduction of your taxes. So let's say, for instance, you earn $1 million, and SARS is going to tax you, say, 400,000 Rand. I say because it depends on the tax bracket you're in, but let's work on 400,000 for the purposes of this example. So you earn $1 million Rand, you make $1 million investment into a Section 12J venture capital company. So when you do your taxes, your income is $1 million Rand minus the $1 million Rand that you invested in the impact in the venture capital company. It means that your income for tax purposes is zero, and all that tax, that 400,000 Rand that you've paid, gets refunded to you, or if you're a provisional taxpayer, you do not have to pay that over to SARS. That goes into the investment. So your 1 million Rand investment costs you 600,000 instead of a full million, but you're getting a full $1 million Rand's worth of investment. This is something available for individuals, also for trusts, but also for companies. And the minimum investment is $1 million. So you've got to have taxable income of $1 million Rand or more, or for, in the case of a company, profits of $1 million Rand or more. The maximum you can invest as an individual is 2.5 million. For a trust, it's 2.5 million, and for a company, it's 5 million. Right, so that's important. So if a company is earning let's say made 8 million Rand in profit, and you do this investment, you do it for 5 million. What will happen is that you've got income that you're going to be taxed on for 5 million minus, so 8 million. Minus the 5 million that you invest in the Section 12J venture capital company, leaves you with only tax to pay on 3 million. And the 1.4 million then subsidizes the investment that you made. You've got to be invested for 5 years, and when you exit the investment, you'll pay capital gains tax on what you actually receive as the net from that investment at the end of the period. So that's how it works. And it's actually fairly simple. If we can go to the next slide, Tristan, what we then say, well, how do we do it? What is Impact Empowerment Ventures is about as a company? And Tristan, you can go to the next slide. So that what you've got is we are an impact investing house. In other words, we try and actually determine that the investments that we make have an actual specific measurable impact in other areas. So it's an investment, but it has to have some sort of impact. So in a lot of impact investing is focused on what I call the top of the needs pyramid in things like green energy or something like that, on issues of the environment or arts and culture and that type of thing. We believe to be Africa relevant, you have to sort out things like the things at the bottom of the pyramid, things like jobs, food security, housing, education, ownership of businesses. That's basically where we are focusing on in terms of the impact that we have. We're very proud to be associated with this cannabis project. It's a new, in the sense that we're actually creating jobs really from scratch, and we're creating jobs in an entire supply chain. In other words, a whole new industry is being spawned as a result. And we're very proud to be associated with this. It's a very high quality project that we are actually associated with. So if we go to the next slide, we live by this acronym that we're trying to enrich. And we use the word enrich to actually stand for enhanced risk control investments. In other words, it's an investment that we're not trying to take ridiculous risks for, and that we're trying to get enhanced risk control returns that generates investment, that creates change and hope. Right? And that's because unemployment is one of the big scourges that we face. We literally hope is ripped out of the souls of young people in this country because there are no opportunities. And that's why we say opportunity enriching lives through opportunity is an important part of that. Opportunity gives people hope and it gives them change. Tristan, if we can go into how the next one to reflect on how we then evaluate investments. It's critical to understand that because we're an investment house, we're not a charity. And very often impact investing is confused with charities, that the departure point must be commercial merit. And this project that we associated with today, which we've partnered with for a long time now, is a high potential product. The commercial merit is phenomenal, right? It's just where people are scared of it because it's a new industry. But in countries where it's actually established, like Canada and in the US and states like Colorado, there is a lot of margin and money that's that's to be made. Next to commercial merit is the people. We've got to have good people now to actually run the project, and we've also got to evaluate the risk of the project. We don't run away from risk, we evaluate it. We see risk as a matrix. You take a risk doing nothing and you take a risk doing something. You might as well do something and create opportunities. That's the whole job of the entrepreneur, is to look at risk and how do you manage and mitigate it. You look at risk as a way to actually improve the chances of commercial success. And then technology, it's an important part. This particular project does employ quite a bit of technology because of the importance of consistency of product that gets delivered. And the consistency is important because it's medicinal cannabis. It's a medicinal cannabis project. You cannot have variable quality in terms of the input. And this is part of where the value add also comes from this particular project, is because we are looking at technology to enhance the consistency, to not only raise the quality and get the consistency right, but it's also to improve both quality and quantity. And that's the irony of technology. Usually if you up the quantity, you reduce the quality, but technology is an enabler to actually improve both. So that's the front door, and we could leave it at that, but we realize, and Tristan, if we can go to the next slide, is that to do this investment, what I described is you take R1 million out of your pocket to access this tax incentive. Where do you get the R1 million from? And we found that that is where the obstacle for investing in 12J is. People don't have that money. And even if they do, that it's already tied up or something. So what we've done is come up with a structure, and it's a structure that is extremely elegant in the way that we actually harness the 12J incentive to create jobs in the way that SARS intended this to be. And so if we look at the next slide, is that we get over the problem of people not having the money by lending the money. We actually create a loan of R1 million. If you've got 2 million of income, we can do a 2 million rand loan. We'll do it to what's needed to be done, but let's use it for the purpose of this example. We've got a 1 million rand loan, which we make to the taxpayer, and the taxpayer then invests that into the impact empowerment ventures, right? That investment enables us to get the tax back. Now, SARS insists on two things about the loan. Firstly, they say you can lend money. They actually specifically say you may borrow money to make this investment, but you just can't borrow it from the Section 12J Venture Capital Company, the VCC. So we've got a separate entity called the Impact Cash Management Fund that's going to write the loan, right? The loan has to be paid back and you have to be at risk for the loan. So that's how we write the loan. But we actually shift the risk because what happens is that we ask the investor to put down a securing deposit of 25,000. That doesn't form part of the investment, it becomes form part of the collateral. We reduce the risk to the investor by making it a limited collateral loan. And that's different to what we call is what most people are experiencing, an unlimited collateral loan. and which is what the banks usually give. If you borrow money for a car, you basically you'll borrow money for a car. If you don't pay it back, you're going to actually the car gets seized as the collateral. If it doesn't cover the full amount, what then happens is that the bank goes after you for everything else you've got until the loan is actually settled. In this case, you seed 4 things, and that covers the loan. And that's important. Is firstly, we create a loan of 1 million, we create an investment of 1 million, you seed the investment, right, against the loan. That's part of the collateral. The 25,000 forms part of the collateral. The tax refund then has to go down to pay down the loan. That forms part of that compliance that SARS insists that the loan gets paid down. All right, and the collateral actually is showing that that you are at risk. And the 25,000 is what puts you at risk. If the investment sells through as is, you get the 25,000 rand back at the end of the investment period. At this point, we're not charging, there's no interest on the loan, simply because we're not taking any risk on the loan. And we also are designing this to be Sharia compatible. In other words, it fits in with Sharia requirements, as our clients have asked us to be. And that's a critically important part of that. But when this is passed into the qualifying company takes responsibility for the loan in any case, and it will be Sharia compliant as well in the actual company for this to actually materialize. So what the next slides are going to do is just going to break this slide down. And so what we're showing you is that the asset, that's the R1 million investment, and the 25,000 securing deposit forms the collateral for what's now the loan that's been paid down by the tax refund of 400,000. So you've got a 600,000 loan with a 400,000 rand cash in that. The next slide shows that then gets passed into the qualifying investment, right? And the risk of the actual residual loan, the 600,000 rand loan, then shifts to the actual qualifying company, which then services the debt. And if there's any interest payable, but this won't be the case here, because the loan will be structured in a Sharia compliant way. What we're trying to do with the investment, and in other words, your cash that SARS gave back to you, the taxes that you got back, right? That, if we look at the next slide, is specifically what we're trying to grow for you. And basically in our projects, we typically look at between 1.5 and 2 times the capital value. If we say we're going to try and double your money over the 5 years that we've got it, right, is that we can take that 400,000 rand, compound an average growth rate of 15% will get us to 800,000 rand, which is what your investment will be worth at the end of year 5. At that point, you can withdraw it, or you can choose not to withdraw it, right? We can, not there, but if you withdraw it, you'll pay capital gains tax on that 800,000. This is, we emphasize there's no guarantees for these type of projections. It's very much a investment in what we call venture capital, but we do believe it's a high, good quality investment, which is why we showed you that video. The video actually shows that this is not a fly-by-night something where we're going to actually take money and run away off into the night. It's actually a very, very good, well-established project that's under the auspices of a great operator as well. So if we then go back to the picture, what we're trying to do, right, is, and I'm just going to summarize on the next slide, we can back to that picture, is that we generate this investment through a loan. That means the investor does not have to take R1 million out of their pockets, right? We actually generate it through a loan, and that the investor, taxpayer, their contribution in terms of the capital to the project will be the taxes that represent on that loan. Right. The investment then gets made, and the qualifying company then gets that investment into that of the capital that has been made. That 400,000 rand that I'm talking about, which depends on the tax bracket you're in, but that 400,000 is your money, right? It's a return of your taxes, and it's a permanent transfer back to you. So we don't take that lightly. It's an important part. You know, a lot of people say, well, if you didn't do this investment, you wouldn't have that. So it would disappear with SARS and you won't see it again. This enables you to actually get something back for your taxes and potentially earn a return on that taxes. The risk is reduced by writing it as a limited collateral loan, but also shifting the risk to the qualifying company that services the loan. So if we actually say, Tristan, if we can go to the next slide, if we say now, how do we access this investment? And it's basically the steps to act now is quite simple. Next slide. Next, the first thing we do, there's a commitment to invest form. Right, we can go to that one. Yes, thank you. We can go to the commitment to invest is exactly what is there. We've got one for company, one for individual, one for partnership, and then you get the securing deposit in place. If you don't have all of that securing deposit available, we can arrange terms to actually get that securing deposit in place. And then the required documentation we can do in July. But the big thing is that we've got a deadline now, right, of 30th of June. The contact details we'll leave on the slide. I'm going to hand back to you, Tristan.
Thank you so much, Chris, for that. We'll be opening the floor. We've got a few minutes for questions. I think, but yeah. So while everyone thinks about their questions, we will be I'll be announcing a few things. I just want to stop sharing the screen, and I want to share our website, because we will be sending out a copy of the video and the recording to all the people that registered, because we want you guys to watch it again. And if you got any questions, you can contact us on all our various social media platforms that are all within. And yes, that's all I wanted to say. Here's our website. And as I also did share the Elixir website, so you can also go into there and ask for any information, whatever you would like. And there's the last slide. Chris, I'm not seeing any questions so far.
I'm sure people will have, subsequently. We're very happy to take questions afterwards. But I would like to say thank you to everybody who has attended. We really do appreciate your time. We value it. We hope we can add value to you with your taxes. And as I say, it's a virtually free investment. So enjoy.
Yeah. Last thing is that this does come to an end next week sometime, Chris. What day is it again?
Next week, Wednesday, 30th is it. If you don't come in before then, this is an opportunity lost. We will be able to, we'll have other investment opportunities into this particular project, but it will not be with this mechanism. And that is, that'll be a shame. If you've got the taxes, commit them.
Okay. Thank you for that, Chris. Chris, we don't have much time, so if anyone's got any questions you want to ask, like Chris said, just feel free to contact us on anything. We'll get back to you as soon as we can, actually very quickly, actually. But yeah, but I want to say thank you again. I think we'll be ending it for now. Chris, I don't know if you've got any last remarks. Nothing?
Nope. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you everyone for tuning in. Please enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Please stay warm, stay safe, and thank you, everyone. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Thank you.